Welcome, everybody. We are live for Iconic TV. We are here every Tuesday at 5 p.m. and we're going to talk about what are the strategies, what are the principles that you can use to scale your business from 6 figures to 7 figures in 1 year or less. Yes, it's very possible for you to have $1 million in revenue or in profits, money in the bank in a year. But the thing is, you have to be able to follow the right strategies, not the hacks, not the little tactics that people use. You don't have to hustle. You have to actually think about yourself as a business owner. How do I become iconic? How do I change the game? How do I up level my position in the marketplace so that people come to me rather than me chasing them? And today we're going to talk about one of the ways that that's entirely possible, and that is with your website. Now, is the website everything? No, it is actually becoming less and less important for a lot of businesses. And so why are we even talking about it if it's not that important? Because it is the last gateway. It is that one place where people finally go to just validate, to just verify that you are who you say you are. But the problem is most people are using a website as old as this. I don't know if some of you even know what this is. This is actually a radio, and it actually really works when I plug it in. It's not plugged in right now. In AM, it doesn't do FM, right? It doesn't have, what's that, online radio or anything like that. But what it does have, it does communicate out, okay? And that's like a website. It communicates out. But how ancient is your website? Is it like this, where you could tune in, but there's nothing there. There's nothing valuable. And so we want to change all that, because I am seeing way too many ugly websites. And I used to do this a lot for corporations when I'd come in and consult for them. And we still do it to this day. In fact, we have some tools that we're going to give you if you want your whole website redone. Let's be honest, okay? It's just like a relationship. You know when the relationship has got to go, right? But you hang on and you hang on and then you hang on, and soon the whole thing is dysfunctional. Well, that's what's happened to a lot of people's websites. People are hanging on and hanging on to it, and I'll get to it. And they don't. In fact, I was just with a wonderful woman, just became a client, and that's what she does, is design websites. But she was so busy working on everyone else's website, she hadn't gotten to hers for a number of years. But that's the final judgment point, right? That's sort of like, if I go back to the analogy of being like a relationship, it's like meeting the parents, right? Or asking the parents for permission to date or marry. It's that final step to say, yeah, this is going to work. Okay. So this is what we're talking about today. How are we going to get over this big problem? How are we going to fix your ugly website? Okay. That's of course assuming that you have one. Some of you might have beautiful websites. Now, I would love for you to go down below and put in your website, like put in your link. Hey, it's an opportunity to promote your site, and I want to know what your website is, because guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to do some audits on those. I'm going to take a look at those, and I'll give you feedback, if you're so brave, on how your website is doing. In fact, what we're going to do today is really take a deep dive on the things that you need to do. There's 13 things that I'm going to show you that you should beware of. Okay, so look, and you can take a checklist and see, is my website doing this? Is this happening on my website? Okay, so let's go ahead and kind of get started. Take a look at some of these things that we need to understand. And here's the things that you want to focus on, right? There's tactical things and there's strategic things, okay? So what we're talking about is tactics are the steps that you would take. Okay, I should do this. I should change my logo. I should add this, right? These are tactics. But there's also strategies. That's sort of the tactics, or the things that the world sees, they're front facing, and then the strategies, the strategic elements are the things in the background that really make it all work and come together. Okay, so we're going to go over both of these for you today. And if you want me to look at your website, or if you want a website makeover, let me know. Okay. Who wants a website makeover? If you want to transform and redo your ugly website, okay, you can do it all by yourself. Turn it into a beautiful website, or you can have us do it if you want us to. We have an agency that'll do that for you. And we have an entire done for you place. You can just go pick out your website and say, this is the one I want. Give this one to me. You can go to thefunnelgallery.com. Okay. So for this show, because it's so important, right? It's the face that you present to the world. You want to make sure it is your best presentation. So I've got a couple gifts for you that we're going to give out today. And if you want some of them, all you have to do is comment down below and let us know what it is that you want. Okay. So SEO audit. We can do a site audit and see what is working, what's not on your website, and tell you exactly what needs to change. Okay. If you want that, just type #audit. If you know, I'm going to talk about some of the headlines on your website and the copy. If you know you're going to need a headline helper, and we call this, okay, so the SEO site, this is how's it looking, okay? The headline helper, because that's the thing that's going to grab people. We're going to talk about that in a sec. That's how to hook them, okay? And then you have to look at the strategy, how to cook them, okay? That's the funnel builders and all of that. So these are all things that we're going to get for you today. And all you have to do to request those is type #websites if you want to know how to cook them, everything that goes on behind the scenes. And if you want to get some help with your headlines, not just for your website, but for your emails and everything else, type #headlines. Okay. And if you want an SEO audit, so that you know how does the search engines, how do they look at your website, and will it rise to the top? So if you need some help with this, this is what we want to do. Now, bear in mind, like, we're all starting somewhere. A few years ago, many years ago, I didn't know anything about websites. So I locked myself in my house and I studied them for 3 months. That's it. Like 8 to 12 hours a day, trying to figure it all out. And this is when I had my finance company. And I did that, and I studied from the best of the best at that time, and I figured it all out. And then this is how I grew my business really quickly. I got to the top of Google on all these searches, and that was through SEO, right? I didn't know what it was at the time. They didn't call it that, or I didn't know, but just figured that out. And just because I ranked so high with my website, that's what made me number one. And my business grew into 13 states and made millions of dollars. And I didn't even know what the industry was. Okay. So you can do this really simply. Okay. It's not that complicated. So if you do want an audit like that, because that's what it did it, right? That SEO. And if you want to know how you can get seen and get clicked and get clients everywhere online, all you have to do is ask for the audit. You can either go straight to that site, theagencyfinder.com, and request your free audit. Otherwise, it's $199. Go there and request it and see how you rank, okay? And if you do want to find out a little bit more, let's say about, okay, well, what do I put on my website and about the headlines, just type #headlines, okay? #headlines will get you something to help you with those headlines as well. And then if you want to get a website redo, okay, and you want your website completely redone, just type #website. All of these things, I have an amazing team. Angie and Sandy and Tally are here today, and they are going to get you all of these amazing items. Okay. So again, you can be looking at these, right? You can go, the funnel gallery is where you do it yourself. If you want to build a global brand, if you want it done for you, then go to theagencyfinder.com. Either way, I just want to make sure that we give you those things, because what we're really talking about is getting stunning website designs that get you results, okay? And people are very visually oriented. Wouldn't you agree, right? It's actually a bias. Pretty people, beautiful people have greater success than ugly people. ugly website is not going to have as much success as a beautiful website. Even if it doesn't say much, people are going to stick there longer, okay? So again, I want you to understand that you can do it all by yourself. You don't need us, okay? We, of course, have built all the technology. We finished it all out. That's the funnel gallery. You can go and pick beautiful sites. We've done them all for you. And it's the back end. It's the strategy. It's all of the tech that goes behind it and the funnels and everything and the emails that connect and the forms. If you want it all done for you, great. We've already taken care of that for you. But what do you actually need to do with your website now? How do you even know if it's good? Okay, let's figure that out right now. I want to move forward. Here's some of the things that you want to focus on. Okay, these are some fast fixes for an ugly website. 3 things that you really, really need to know. First of all, unless you're a design expert, don't design your own website. This is obvious, okay? There are other things you can do. Maybe you're not a great copywriter, but you can figure out emails. But don't design your own website if you're not an expert at design, okay? There's 3 things that need to happen on your website. There's the visuals. What's it look like? There's the pictures, the images, the color combinations. All this is part of the visuals. And then the design is like the wireframing. How does it lay out, okay? Like what comes first in what order? And then the copy, what is the story that you're telling? Okay. So these are the 3 things I want you to keep in mind: visuals, design, and copy. Those 3 things are going to make all the world of difference for you in your website. And so what's the first thing that we're going to do? I want you guys to really participate here and watch this, okay? This is the most important thing I want you to remember. Write this down, okay? This is the key for today, the 5-second test. The 5-second test. This is what matters, okay? Now, here's the thing. Let's take a look in the first 5 seconds. What is this website? Okay, is this kind of a head scratcher? So look at this. What's the heading of the website say? Right, we just talked about headlines, right? See the patient, trust the technology. Okay, see the patient, trust the technology. Can you guys tell me what that website is about? Right? It's a head scratcher. Okay, so that's not the thing that's going to work. Okay, here's another one. Okay, I want you to take a look at this one. Tell me what you think this website is about. Okay, 5-second test in 5 seconds. The audience needs to know exactly what you are selling. What do you think this website is about? This is the cover image of this website. What do you think? Any ideas? Okay. Does it have you kind of stumped? Let me show you the headline. Maybe that'll help you figure it out. It says, nurture the body that will provoke true envy. That gives you a really good hint, doesn't it? Yeah, now you know, right? Like, oh, it's super obvious, isn't it? Right? You're like, oh yeah, I get what it's about. Do you really? No. Why? Because the headline missed. The headline didn't hit it, right? So what do you think it is? Here's what people have said in that 5 seconds. Mattresses, towels, meditation, or eyes are closed. Maybe that's what it's about. Maybe it's sleeping pills. Oh, look at all the hair. It must be a hair salon. I thought it was Downy fabric softener. I was like, oh, must be a towel. And they're talking about Downy. Okay, what do you think they are really selling? Okay, tell me. Which one do you think it is? Put it in the comments. Okay, would you like to know? Want to see what it really was? I want to know if anybody guessed it right. If you did, if you put the right thing down there, I'm going to give you, where's my book? A copy of the book Soar. Okay, so guess what it is? This is a bad example of a website. Okay, caution. I want you to know this is not a good way to do it. This is actually, let's take a look. Caution, warning. This is a cosmetic surgeon, okay? This is all the things that you don't want to do. In 5 seconds, nobody could figure out what it was, could you? So I'm going to today talk about all these warning signs that you have to be careful of to not do this to your site, right? Because here's what happens. You think that you're going to have a beautiful site. And I was like, this is going to be awesome. And then, no, it's horrible. Okay. That's the worry that we have. You think, oh, this is going to look so good. And people get there and like, oh, this is not good. Okay. You need it to be really clear. We talk about these headlines. Here's another 5-second quiz for you. Okay. In 5 seconds, you can read the headline here: how to build your 7-figure empire. Imagine how to build your 7-figure empire. There's a video there and it looks pretty delicious as far as that location, right? Do you have an idea what this might be about? You think it might be about building a 7-figure empire? Right? You want your website to be that incredibly obvious. Okay. How do you make it that obvious? Oh, you have a really, really, really clear headline. So I want you to think about it. Type it down below. What is the headline, the main header above the fold, as we say, before you scroll? What's the headline on your website? And if it's not clear, then that's going to be a problem. Okay. So let's dive deep into these things and into these 13 big mistakes that people do make. Okay. Because they can be pretty obvious, right? Just remember that 5-second test. In 5 seconds, can you tell exactly what is happening on this website? So here's some of the things that you need to focus on. We're going to dive into these, right? Just put little, I took out all the images here just so you can kind of see what's going on. Well, as far as the home page, people don't have a descriptive title. The navigation is all over the place. And people also, they don't have a call to action. There's nothing they're telling you to do. So you just get there and maybe you scroll and it's pretty, but you don't know what to do. Okay. And a lot of times people don't have any evidence, any proof of what's going on. So these are big opportunities that you're going to miss. Let me dive into these a little bit closer for you. Okay. Because the percentages are big, right? Most of the people, sometimes as much as 70% of the people, miss all these things. And these are the 13 things, right, that I was talking about that you really need to pay attention to on your site. So let's take a closer look, okay, at some of the first ones. One of the big ones is the navigation bar, okay? This is at the top. And what that means is it's what are you going to do? Where are you going to go, right? So what you need, of course, on the left-hand side, like if you look at the blue one on top, that's our headers there, okay? And so what you have there is something that's descriptive. It's relevant to the people that come there and to the search engines. It says, click here for more profits. Click here for 7 figures fast. Click here to see reviews. Click here for bonuses. Click here for frequently asked questions. Get started now. All of those items are all just in the navigation bar, right? That's what you want to do. What you don't want to do in the navigation bar is, okay, great, you got your logo there, but then you just say home, features, why us, service, about, contact. Those are really common and really generic, and that's not what you want to do. You always want to think of that navigation bar and a website. It's like a book, okay? And there's a journey that your buyer is going to go through when they come to your website. It's the same thing. If you have a book, you need to navigate, give them a navigation tool. A book will have table of contents, right? You go, oh, this is what's happening in this chapter and this chapter, and you follow through. But a lot of times people will get on a website and they don't know where to go, okay? Or they'll scroll and then boom, they bounce. And the search engines will penalize you if they bounce and leave right away, okay? So you want to make sure you're giving them a clear table of contents, right? Telling them what to do. Now, then the next thing that happens is the images, okay? What are the images? We looked at an image of a woman that looked like she had a towel and what was going on, okay? It's supposed to be a plastic surgeon's site. Well, that didn't make sense. So what do you need? You need real pictures of people at the business, preferably, okay? When you have testimonials, show the client's face in the testimonials. If you have blog articles, then go ahead and show the faces of the contributors. Is this making sense so far? Okay, let me ask you, keep tally of how many times you're missing this. Okay, so all this stuff now is what we call above the fold. What's the first image that people see? Is it a real person? Okay, a lot of times people will not put any real people on, not even in the about, and they'll just use cartoon images and stuff. Sometimes that's okay, but at some point you need to show who the real people are. Okay, and then your headline, remember? The headline has to be really clear in 5 seconds. Do you know what's going to happen? Oh, yeah, I'll simplify, systemize, and scale my business and make more profits faster in 2024. Okay, that'll work, right? Okay. And then it goes in and then describes it and then it tells you, what do you want to do? Do you want to book a call or do you want to watch a video about this? Like, where are you in the process? Where are you in the journey? Okay. And so this is what's called the conversion equation, right? You need a headline that's really clear. Then you need a subheadline. Why? How do you explain that? Okay. Then what are we talking about? Well, then all of this is before you even scroll, right? Well, you want to discover a proven and permanent way to grow your influence as a leader and grow your income as a business owner without sacrificing your life, right? You want to go from 6 figures to 7 figures in 1 year. That's the explanation. Okay. What's the offer? Book a 10-minute call or watch a video. Okay. And again, how do you get more help? If you look on the right hand, right, got to have a picture of somebody who's real and then give them more information down there in the right hand corner where you can have a pop up. Okay. What is that again doing? That is giving you the navigation. You're seeing exactly what you need to do, right? Most people are doing what was on the left. They're standing there. I'm here at your website, and then there's all these different options, okay, going to all of these different places. This is what we call a squirrel website, where in your navigation bar, you have all these things. Click here, click here, click here, and it takes you all over the place. What you want to do is give them a linear path of what to do when they get to your website. That's how you do it right. Is this making sense? Okay. How many of you are actually thinking, okay, I'm doing pretty good. Okay. I haven't missed too many of these. Okay. So there's 13 things that we're going to show you today. We've shown you about half of them already. If you just got here, please type #replay so you can see from the very beginning what you need to do, what you need to set up. We have 3 gifts for you today. Okay. All of them are tied around what you need to do for your website. Number 1, you need to be able to be found. If nobody finds your website, that's it. Okay. So then you probably want to have a website audit. Okay. Type #audit if you would like an audit, and we'll show you how do we rank you higher. Okay. And then we also have a headline helper. So if you want to figure out what are my headlines, we have a headline helper. Type #headline. Okay. And if you definitely know you need a redo, or maybe you don't even have a website anymore, you're like, I had one and then it's not good, or maybe you secretly have one, but you don't tell anybody about it because it's that bad. Okay. And you want a website redo, we've got a couple different ways to get that done. Whether you want to do it all by yourself and have it all done for you, or you want someone to professionally do it. Okay. So then if you want a website or you need a website redo, type website. That simple. Okay. So here's the 5 clarity crimes that people make on a website. Remember, you need a straight line to what you're trying to do. Okay. So these are the 5 things a lot of people get wrong. Do you have a clear header, a clear thing, right? Simplify and scale your business. That's clear. Okay. Only 7% of people have that. Okay. Do you have a clear title tag? Like, it's not just home, right? Does it say what happens when you click on these headers and different subheadlines and all of that? Do people know? Does the search engines know what this means? Okay. Do you have a clear call to action? Like, click here, join here, watch the video, book a call, read more, download the free book. Okay. Guess what? Only 33% of the people even have that on their site. Do you have clear navigation labels at the top that people can say, oh, click here for this, click here for this? Again, most people don't. And do you have clear validation? Okay. Clear validation is how do you prove that you do what you do? how do you show them like, oh, well, this person said so, or here's the studies that we did, here's the statistics, right? And it's also in your copy, okay? So your copy is also very important. What are you saying? Now, here's the fact, though, that people only read about 20% of a website. So if you're all worried about your copy, unless it's compelling, they're not going to keep reading, okay? And if it's all about you instead of them, they're not going to keep reading. Bad copy is a big problem, okay? It's right up there with, like, do you ever smell something like in your trash? It's like, oh, that stinks, right? Or a bad hair day, bad teeth, a bad grade, a bad dog. My dog was just bad right before I came on air. Okay, these are bad things. That's the same category as bad copy. It just stinks. Okay, and you can't have that on your site. That's going to be associated with you. So you got to get good copy. And so a lot of people will turn to AI. Think, oh yeah, but you've got to be careful with this. So much of it, people just take it as is. It's not meant to be taken as is. It's meant to be massaged. And now all the search engines are actually penalizing you if they detect too much or any AI copy. So what are you supposed to do, right? You can't write it yourself, and then AI could actually harm you. So copy is important, but it is, again, it's not the main thing. Why? Because people are mostly visual. So what do? You have to avoid the long paragraphs. Don't do run-on paragraphs. You need to break it up with bullet points, and you want to write your copy at a 5th grade level. Okay. You might even, for example, I have a client in law, a law firm, and as I looked at her horrible website, I was like, wow, this is absolutely the worst. And then I thought, let me give you some examples. And I looked at other law websites, and they were just as awful. And it was like they're just writing to other attorneys. You see this also in the medical field, in which I used to work in. And people write to their peers instead of their client. Okay. So you have to remember to keep that there. Lots of white space. Okay. So the other thing is, make sure your copy is about the problem. Okay. It has to be talking to them about their one problem. They came there for one reason, right? Are you addressing that one reason? And are you showing them what the outcome is? Okay, if you do this, then this happens. Okay. Is it personalized for them? Or does it feel like you're just talking to everybody? Okay. And is it visual? Your copy needs to be visual, just like your website needs to have good visual elements. Meaning, as you read it, does it like inspire pictures in your head that says, oh yeah, I can see that, I get it. Okay. So this is really, as you look at it, it's more than just a website. Go to my website, sign up, get my newsletter. How many of you really sign up for a newsletter? You got to come up with something creative. You got to bribe them. Okay. Now, newsletters can make you 10, $20 million a year if you do it right. But hey, not if they don't stick to your website and they don't see it. Okay. So this is why it's so important to have a good website. But I'm going to talk, this is kind of part of our hyper growth, right? This is part 2, but the rest of it, sometimes you don't need a website at all. You actually just need a landing page. Okay. And we'll get into that. So if we look at, again, here's some more flaws. Social exit icons, I call them. Okay. Do you put all the social media logos up at the top? Or on the side of your website or your blog, or even a landing page? Well, guess what? Those are just candy, right? But they're going to be exit signs. People will click on those and they're gone. They're out. They are not going to come back. So don't do this. You can do it down below, but don't do it when you just work so hard to get them to your website in the first place. It's a big no-no, but people do it all the time. So, hey, if you want to learn some more strategies like this, like, okay, what do I need to do? What do I need to do with my website or my lead gen? Some sales tips. How do I do the emails and the copy and the offers? How do we get more referrals and people getting to my website or my branding, my digital marketing? We actually teach all this for free in our workshop. You can go to theiconicworkshop.com. And so we do that Tuesdays at 8:30 in the morning. We provide you free breakfast. A whole bunch of people come and network. Business owners, you have to have a business. Okay, if you don't have a business, it's not going to work for you. But if you want to learn more about these strategies and how it works, it's actually a 2-hour workshop we do. I want you to just go to the Iconic Workshop. You can check it out. And if you get there and you're like, oh, this is local, this is San Diego. We're actually here in Del Mar, one of the most beautiful places in Southern California. So come in, fly in, or drive down or drive up. It's awesome. And we have 100% satisfaction with all the people that come. We'll give you a whole workbook with all of these things. And so you walk away with a 21-page guide of what you need to do in order to put all this in place. Okay. Again, it's 100% free, and we'll teach you how to use these things and how to profit as well. So if you get there and you're like, oh, shoot, I'm not going to be in San Diego, just click that you're interested in another date. And if I ever do a virtual event, I would love to invite you to the virtual event. Okay, so at least go in there, and then we'll know by your city and state if you want to be virtual or if you want to come live and eat with us and all of that. Okay, so and so the content, right? If we're talking copy, blogging is also a great thing to boost your site. Blogs used to be really big and then they kind of disappeared. It still works right now, but here's the key with a blog. If you're going to do it, there's some big no-nos. Okay. Don't do it once or twice and then just disappear. Okay. Then people think, I don't even know if this website is active. Okay. And make sure when you're using, a blog to boost your site, use the keywords, use AI to help you do that. Okay, that's where the SEO will really come in handy. And don't put a date on it. Please, 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 for the love of God, don't put a date on your blogs. It doesn't work, right? And somebody go, oh, this is awesome. And then they see, oh, wow, this was 2017. They're not current. And they'll leave. Okay, so the content doesn't really change. The date does, just don't use the date. Okay. And if you don't have that ability, let us know. We can show you how you can actually fix that on your site. Okay. So some more validation, right? What is the proof? People want proof. Okay. They want a before and an after, right? Make sure the before matches where somebody is right now. It matches their problem. The people are talking about, oh, I had this problem. Like I was in my business for 5 years and I never crossed the 6-figure mark. It was a horrible thing. I was about to give it all up and take a job. Okay. That's the before. And then what's the after? Well, I started doing the 4 steps of the SOAR formula. And in 6.5 months, I was making $10,000 a month. Okay. And people are like, yeah, that's what I want. Okay. So make sure you don't have all kinds of weird testimonials and case studies. They need to match what the people want. What is their scenario when they come to you, and what is it that they want afterwards? Does this make sense? Okay. So for example, you also, when you put them out there, don't just say, hey, this is what our clients say about us. That's boring. That's not good for your SEO. That's not going to boost your site. Take a portion of what they said and use that in the headline, right? Because that's going to help boost and help get it up there. Again, how you write these, there's actually code in the copy. And so if you don't use the right code and you don't use the right words, it's not going to help you. Here's another example of, hey, this is what you will learn and this is what your results will be. Again, this is talking before and after. Okay. So if you do want a site audit, you want us to take a look at that, we'll be happy to. Okay. I've been doing these for probably 2 decades. And my degree, one of my degrees, is in design. So I would love to take a look at your site, figure out what is going on for you. Do you have a good site? Do you have a bad site? Is it an embarrassment? And what is it time? Does it even matter? Okay. Because we can even do overlays onto your site and actually make them come out even better. So I don't know if you guys are familiar with overlays. I'm going to show you this next week. And what we do is we can this is Betty Bott. If you haven't heard about her yet, I have a whole video on it, but it's a little too long for today. I'll do it next week, okay, for part 3. So BiddyBot will come on your website and she will be your valet. She will actually say, hey, what do you need? This is also great if you have a bad website because you don't want them to look. You don't want them to leave. You want someone to catch them. If you had somebody sitting at your site, like at your online store 24/7, they said, hi, what are you doing? What do you need? Do you need a report? Do you want an example of somebody who's done this before? Would you like an appointment? And so if you can put an overlay on your site, it's going to enhance it that much. Because here's the question, type down in the comments, how many clients and how many sales are you getting from your website? Crickets, right? Nothing. People aren't getting any money out of it. So why are you spending $30,000, even $5,000 on a website and you're not getting any money off of that? Okay. So that's what BiddyBot does. She just sits on your website, totally trained. Imagine an employee you could bring in and you're like, okay, sit here and tell everybody everything they need. And you don't have to train that employee. That's what that bot will do for you. If you want to see it live on your website, all you have to do is do #audit, and I will show you exactly how that would work for you on your website. Okay. So let's go ahead and summarize again. These are some of the things these are just your basic elements, okay, of a high performing website. And make sure you have that. So I told you all this stuff above the fold, but also down below in the footer matters as well. Do you have your contact information? Do you have the links to the key pages? It's great to keep them down there so you don't get people distracted into a squirrel site. And where do you want them to sign up? How are you going to get their opt-in information? Down here is where you put all your social media icons, and you definitely have to have all your privacy information, your copyright information, so people don't steal your stuff. And you want to put that down in the footer, okay? And when you have that down there, it's going to be so much easier for you to keep your site clean, okay? And you don't want people going kind of all over the place with everything, okay? Now, a couple other best practices here. Empty subheads, right? Don't waste space on silly topics like our solutions. Well, that doesn't mean anything. That doesn't search well, okay? So make sure you don't have any of those. I see a lot of people, they just put stuff in there, but they don't give it a good subheadline, okay? Another best practice is you want to get leads, but the question is, how do you build that? Do you build a short form or a long form opt-in? Okay, you need to know what is going to matter. And here's how you figure it out. Do you actually want the lead, okay, or do you want a good lead? All right. And right now, because SMS is important, you want to start getting the phone numbers all the time. And so a lot of people say, well, then people won't sign up if they have to give the phone number. Well, if you're giving something compelling, they will sign up. Okay. So again, the question is, do you even know how your site is doing? How does your site rate? Are you guilty of an ugly website? And would you like to find out what your rating is? What is the likelihood of you actually getting business off of your website? Or is everybody doing a head scratcher going, oh my gosh, I just don't know what this site is about. Can you figure it out? Oh, okay. So totally free. If you go here, theagencyfinder.com, you don't even have to ask anything, right? Just go put your site information in there and it will spit out a report for you and tell you everything that you need to fix. Okay. So if you just know what to do, that's a good start. Okay. So I'm giving that to you guys as one of the free gifts. Okay. And make sure that you do use technology, because again, I'm going to show you the technology next week. What are the AI tools you can use to have hyper growth in your business? And AI is your friend. I'll show you next week a site that we built completely with AI. You can build them faster, you can attract clients faster, and you can make your websites more profitable. And that way it's not going to take you months and months and months to do them. Okay. If you want a website in a weekend, just type #website. Let's say today is Tuesday and you would like by next Tuesday to have your site up. Okay. You can go to thefunnelgallery.com or just type #website and you can have that and it'll be up like that. Okay. And then you can track everything and know that it is working. So if you love these ideas, if you want more strategies like this, we invite you to come to our free Iconic Workshop. Go to theiconicworkshop.com and get all of these strategies and personalized and customized for you in person, live in our office. So we would love to have you come out there. If you do want the replay, okay, go ahead, scan that, and then that is a QR code. Go scan that QR code, hold your phone up, take a picture, and that will take you back to get the replay. Okay. So again, what is the point of all of this? Your website is your face for the world, and you want to make sure that you are representing your company well. You do need different landing pages and things. We'll get into that in another day. Next week, we'll show you that. We'll show you the tech. How do you actually use technology to build these faster, to get more clients, to get more leads, and to make more money. But if you have an ugly website, it is going to kill your sales because people might not go there in the beginning. But I promise you, they will go look at it and validate that you're everything you say you are before they buy from you. People have too much information at their beck and call, and so they're going to use that, and it can be used for you or it can be used against you. And even if nobody really lands on your site, the ones that do, you want to give them a great first impression. So we'll see you next week at 5 o'clock for Iconic TV Live every Tuesday. See you then.